My stepson nearly burned my house down to get revenge, so I pressed charges, and now my wife is divorcing me. But I have one last move that will leave them both stunned. I never thought my life would unravel like this. One moment, I was a happily married man with a stable home, a solid career, and a future I had worked tirelessly to build. The next, I was watching flames consume my garage, firefighters struggling to keep the blaze from spreading to the rest of my house. My stepson, a kid I had tried to help, support, and guide, had set the fire on purpose. And when I made the logical decision to press charges, my wife turned on me. Now she's divorcing me, and she's coming for everything. But she has no idea what's coming next, because I have one last move, one that will leave them both absolutely speechless. To understand how things reach this point, you need to know a little about my stepson, Ethan. When I married Lisa 5 years ago, I knew she had a teenage son. I was prepared for the usual step-parent struggles, but I had no idea how deep the issues ran. Ethan was defiant, entitled, and manipulative. He resented me from day one. At first, I chalked it up to adjustment. It was understandable. His father had been out of the picture for years, and now his mother had married someone new. I tried to be patient. I tried to earn his trust. I took him to basketball games. I helped him with school projects. I even got him his first part-time job at a friend's auto shop. But nothing worked. Instead of bonding, he pushed back harder. He talked back constantly, disrespecting me at every opportunity. He stole money from my wallet more than once. He destroyed my tools after I grounded him for sneaking out. And last year, he stole my car and crashed it into a fence. That should have been the final straw, right? I should have called the cops then. But Lisa begged me not to. He's just acting out, she said. He didn't mean it. I was blinded by love for my wife, so I let it slide. Big mistake. Because Ethan wasn't just acting out. He was testing the boundaries. And when I didn't enforce consequences, he pushed further, until he nearly burned my house down. It was a Wednesday night. I had worked late and was exhausted when I got home. Lisa was out at a friend's house, and Ethan was supposed to be studying for his upcoming exams. But as soon as I pulled into the driveway, something felt off. The garage door was slightly open, and when I stepped inside, the smell of gasoline hit me like a punch to the face. Then I saw him, Ethan, standing in the middle of the garage, lighter in hand, gasoline pooling around his feet. My heart dropped. Ethan, what the hell are you doing? He turned, his expression eerily calm. You think you can control my life? You're not my dad. You never will be. And then he dropped the lighter. Flames erupted instantly. I moved fast. Years of working on cars had prepared me for fire emergencies. I grabbed a fire extinguisher, spraying like my life depended on it. Because it did. But Ethan? He just stood there, watching. When I finally got the fire under control, half the garage was destroyed. My toolbox was gone, my workbench ruined, and the classic car I'd been restoring for years, a melted mess. And Ethan? He had the nerve to smirk. That's when I knew. This wasn't an accident. It wasn't teenage rebellion. He did this on purpose. And I wasn't letting it slide this time. Calling the cops. I did what I should have done years ago. I called the police. Ethan's smirk disappeared when the squad car pulled into the driveway. Lisa, who had just gotten home, ran outside, horrified. "What's going on?" she shrieked. I pointed to the charred remains of our garage. "Your son did this." "And I'm pressing charges?" The cops arrested Ethan for arson and reckless endangerment that I guess they put him in handcuffs. Lisa turned on me like a wild animal. "How could you do this to him? He's just a kid." I gestured to the destruction. "He almost burned our house down, Lisa. He could have killed someone." But she refused to listen. She spent the next week screaming at me whenever she was home. Then, one morning, she was gone. Bags packed, closet empty. And on the kitchen table, divorce papers. She wasn't just leaving me. She was coming for the house. Lisa assumed I'd roll over and let her win. That I'd hand over the house, the assets, and everything I had built. But what she didn't realize, I was prepared. Before we got married, I made sure that the house remained in my name only. It wasn't marital property. She had no legal claim. Her lawyer tried to fight it. They failed. Lisa thought she could guilt-trip me into dropping the charges. But what she didn't know, I had security cameras in the garage. The footage showed Ethan clearly pouring gasoline and setting the fire. When her lawyers saw the footage, they backed off immediately. Since Lisa wanted to fight dirty, I fought back. I sent the footage to Ethan's school administration. ASA result? He got expelled. Then I took it a step further. I filed a child endangerment report with CPS. Because Lisa had enabled Ethan's behavior for years. She covered for him, excused him, and ignored every red flag. CPS opened an investigation into her parenting. Suddenly, she wasn't just losing the house, she was at risk of losing custody of her son. Lisa called me, begging me to drop everything. "I'm sorry," she sobbed. "I was just trying to protect my son." I laughed. Where was this energy when you were divorcing me? As for Ethan, he got probation, but now he had a criminal record. He couldn't go back to school. No college would touch him. No respectable job would hire him. Lisa and Ethan ended up crammed into a tiny apartment, struggling to make ends meet. And me? I kept my house. I kept my assets. And I kept my peace. If someone tries to destroy your life, make sure they feel every single consequence.